Day 22, and this is the 885 burl. Wish we'd buried vines, wish we would have cared about this plant, because this is definitely the pumpkin that's doing the best. And it's in kind of the forgotten area, but still seems to be growing okay. Also day 22 on the 1634, and pumpkin's good shape still and looking okay, but really no improvement on the plant. Plant's not growing, and I don't think it's going to fill in, or if it does, not completely. But as long as the pumpkin keeps growing, we'll keep chugging along. 2350 on day 22. Pumpkin's growing. Shape continues to be the ugly duckling, and the plant is also not really growing so much. So as you get back here where the first secondaries are, it's a little bit more robust and normal. When you look up here at the front of the plant, especially where the secondaries past the plant are and the main vine, that's the main vine, it just looks terrible. I mean, so heat sensitive. Even we did go through a heat wave here, but it's not that hot right now, and you can see how flattened it is. So day 25 for the 885 burl, and it's estimating 125 pounds or 124 pounds. And this pumpkin, I think, has great shape, really good size. It's very symmetrical. It's got good color. The only thing it doesn't have is a lot of plant behind it, so we'll see how it does. This 1634 is weighing in at 85 pounds and also at day 25. And it's got a funny angle, and I think it's mostly because this root is still anchored in the ground, and it's kind of creating what would be called a bird bath condition here, where it's sort of starting to lean back. So what I'm going to do is get down in there and cut that root and start to prop it up, and as it grows, try and reorient the pumpkin a little bit. It's a bit late to be doing it, but I think with some time it can start to kind of roll back forward. See the size of the root here. It's pretty substantial. And then I'll start to prop this up. All right, so I have a root cut. I got this where the root was holding up the vine, and then a little more sort of like a spring pushing up here, and then sort of temporarily I have this wedged in just to sort of tease it that direction if I can. I wouldn't want to leave that long term, but for a couple days, as it puts on some more weight, to try and sort of shift the whole energy this way. We'll see if it works. Day 25 after pollination. This pumpkin is estimating at 95 pounds. And other than growth on the pumpkin, the plant is really just doing more of the same. But I'm grateful that it is growing. All right, day 30 in the patch. We still have 3 pumpkins that are growing. None of them are gonna break any records or personal bests. But at this point, I think we're just happy that they're still growing and we're still putting on gains. One of the 3 pumpkins has actually started to increase in total weight gain on average per day. Pretty much all 3 have been gaining around about 12 pounds a day, and finally the 1634 Rhea has bumped up to about 17 pounds a day. So hopefully that trend continues and it actually takes off a little bit. So I'll turn around and you'll be able to see sort of what the plants look like, and I'll show you each pumpkin. So this is the 2350 Ginger. Basically against the wall here, we're mostly terminated, and this area over here never really filled in. This area here maybe slowly will fill in, but I don't think any of this area up here will fill in. Same sort of situation over there with the 1634. I think it's a combination of our situation with the soil. Either it's getting too much or not enough of something. Hard for me to say what, even though we had a tissue test. The other thing that could be a big contributor is that we didn't really get warm weather until very late. And I was really trying to get a pollination in June, which we did. But once the pollination took place and the plant itself started to really slow up. So maybe in hindsight, with the cool weather and the plant lagging so much, maybe a better way to have gone about it is let the plant get a little bit bigger, suck it up and take a later pollination. Just something to consider for next year. So this is for sure the ugliest of the bunch. This is the 2350 Ginger. It is kind of got a pear hunchback sort of shape. See it there. And it currently weighs 148 pounds at day 30, so pretty awful, but it is growing. So this pumpkin is the 1634 Rhea. It weighs 153 pounds, also on day 30. Kind of has a bird bath shape, maybe / wheel shape, just kind of not very deep, but pretty tall. And it is kind of lean back. I'm trying to get it to move forward a little bit to prevent too much of the bird bath. But overall, this is the pumpkin that's picked it up a little bit, growing at 17.5 pounds a day. So still a very small number, all things considered. This is the 885 Burl, and this pumpkin is longer and less tall. It is weighing 177 pounds, also at day 30. All these pumpkins were pollinated the same day. Didn't think it would really end up that way because we had several pollinated, but it's kind of nice. It's fun to see them all sort of growing against each other. I think if this plant were bigger and vines were buried better, this was an afterthought plant, this would actually have some real potential. But because it's just such a small plant, I don't think it's gonna do anything too crazy. But just as a comparison to the main patch over here, you know, it has probably half the plant and that these two have, but it is still the biggest pumpkin. We'll see how long that lasts. Here's a little bonus patch tour in a different location. I have an Atlantic Giant here, which is going out this way. And I had a pumpkin set there and it split. But I've got two new ones. One right there, which is a few days old. Looks pretty big, but it's on a secondary and it's in a really sort of complicated spot. And then I have another one out there at the tip. But that's just a kind of for fun, for growing a pumpkin that the kids can watch grow. But I also have a field pumpkin here, and there's a couple pumpkins set already. You can see it just starting. And then another field pumpkin there. And this is a traditional Howden pumpkin. So this is like, you know, your normal carving jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. And then over here, I have a gourd, forget what type. Oh, it's a yellow star gourd. So those kind of cool shaped gourds. Here, I forget, but it's another, I think it might be a French eating pumpkin that is real bright orange. And then right here, I have another gourd. I think it's white with stripes. So just a little for fun patch here.